What's up everybody, I'm quickly interrupting ahead of this video. Welcome to the channel of course, but quickly wanted to shout out the Signal group we have, which is a group in which I share all of my trades. For example, also this maker trade that we took over the course of this week. But we also, for example, bought Bitcoin at 101,000, which hopefully it's still trading higher at this point of time, but it went to 107,000. But I also released a new trading guide in which I fully explain one of the main strategies that I use to trade. So not only will you get profitable signals, you're also able to learn how to become a profitable trader yourself. So if you want to join, that sounds interesting, links will be down in the description. For now, enjoy the video. Bye. Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, hope you had a good weekend, and welcome to this new video right here on altcoins. We're going to do a full altcoin update. Now the title, I think in the thumbnail, is alt season update. Quick clarification, I don't think this is an alt season, and I do not think we will ever get an alt season again like we had in 2017 and 2020/21. And I know that's a little bit of a negative way to start that, but I don't think that's negative at all. I think it's realistic. And I still think you can make a huge amount of money in crypto as long as you play it right? And I think right now expecting the same from altcoins as what you did in 2021 or 2017 is just factually not something you should do. Should you take profits too early? No, but you should always take profits. And the truth is, and that's what I said before as well, at this point of time, we're trading at like a 5x from the start of the last alt season, And we're also trading much higher than 2023, which is when arguably some sort of an alt season actually did start. But all right, now we're going to do a full update on altcoins for this week, and also after everything that has happened fundamentally. Obviously, the fundamentals over the entire market, So also the broader financial markets are still quite uncertain, and the market is subject to development on the fundamental situation right now. Although I must say that the open of this week has been relatively optimistic. We're looking at the S&P 500 pre-market right now, and you can see that opened very strong, And it's actually pushing towards the same levels as last week Wednesday, before we started pulling back. So there's quite a lot of optimism there. Bitcoin is also doing relatively well, so there's optimism there as well. And I would actually say that I'm fairly optimistic about altcoins as well. Now, does that mean that you should buy it right now? No, not necessarily, although we will talk about some altcoins that I like and some altcoins that can do well, So we'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But the thing is that last video, what I said is that it looked more likely that altcoins were going to get into some sort of a consolidation, something like this, for example, And that will just get consolidation in between for the summer. And I think that's good news, Because first of all, if you go to the weekly time frame, consolidation actually is not bad, and it actually opens up the way to get some sort of a spike down, which is also a possibility, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But then later get continuation over the second half, or maybe I should say like the second half of the third quarter this year, or maybe the fourth quarter, So on the weekly time frame, consolidation actually makes sense, and that also opens up the way for bullish continuation later. And that also means that there's a little bit more certainty, or a little bit more stability, I would argue, for altcoins to trade, If we are in a consolidation, then at least you know the statistically better areas. It was a sneeze, so hopefully I edited that out. And the statistically better areas to sell or short, So I would say that is still most likely, and I would say that's good news. Good news for the long-term prospect of altcoins, but also good news for the short-term stability and certainty of trading. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, if we do have some fundamental escalation, do I think we can have a deeper pullback? Yes, I do think so. But ultimately, I do also think that pullback is just going to lead to a short-term deviation below the range that we will reclaim, that will remain stable, and that later this year we can actually expect more bullish momentum. So those are my thoughts for altcoins. When we're talking about today, I mean, it's Monday morning, so there's not a lot of coins that I think are interesting. I still think Solana and the Solana ecosystem, given all the news that we had regarding the ETF, is very interesting. Hype is extremely strong, and DeFi is still very interesting as well, So then we're talking about Uniswap, we're talking about Aave, Pendle, Frax. So those would be the main areas to focus on, in my opinion, even though there's plenty more opportunities, it looks like, coming in the in the rest of the week. But that's what I think you need to know for now. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.